Let's start with this story from the front page of the Adelaide Advertiser. Gideon, I'm going to come straight to you because I know that you're probably going to be somewhat triggered, as the kiddies, the woke kiddies say. There's this actually brilliant photo. I love the aspect of that photo. It's a picture of grain producers SA Vice Chairman Adrian McCabe in a wheat field near Tarlee, and he says Labor must support ending the ban on GM crops. And this story is saying scientists are urging MPs to end the ban on GM crops. In a bold entry to an often emotional political debate over GM, 5 eminent scientists, Gideon, say that farmers need new technology to deal with climate change.
Yeah,
and
look,
go.
Look, not going to be the. I mean, look. Anything and everything is caused by, related to, or will solve climate change these days. So, I mean, if I got angry about every time it was mentioned, I'd have a heart attack in the next few weeks, and you wouldn't see me again. But
we can't have that.
The thing about well, I would hope so. But the thing about this story is, look, I'm not thrilled that climate change is yet again being wheeled out to justify a public policy change. But at least in this case, it's a good one. I actually support the overturn of the ban on GM crops. I think that it's a silly ban to begin with. Absolutely.
Really?
I mean. Yeah, look, humanity needs constant improvement in farming technology. We always have. I mean, there were scientists 100-odd years ago who theorised we were going to run out of food sometime in the 1970s, and we very well might have, had it not been for massive improvements to farming technology that allow us to get much more yield out of smaller parcels of land. Now, I've never been paranoid about overpopulation or anything like that, but I see the need to continually improve ways in which we can feed ourselves. I think the science is reasonably clear on the safety of genetically modified crops. I think there's a lot of fake news out there. So look, again, I'm not a huge climate change believer, as you well know, but look, we may have taken a different route, but I'm glad we're getting to that destination.
Cam, maybe it's bad branding, because I hear the words genetically modified, and I don't want them placed as descriptors to the food that I'm going to eat. I mean, you're talking to a newly minted composter here. I have a new compost machine at home, and I will talk to anyone about it because it is the greatest thing ever. I've become woke. But seriously, I mean, if there's a ban in place, one would assume that the ban was put in for reasons that are not like climate change, and climate change in itself doesn't seem to be a reason enough to reverse a ban on crops that are genetically modified.
Well, look, I actually used to work in the grain handling industry for a period of 6 years, up to about 2002. So I was right in the middle of that early debate about GMOs. I've got mixed feelings about it. I think that Gideon's right, that GMOs have the potential to deal with changed climatic conditions, if that indeed is happening, to deal with the extremes of climate, hotter days, etc. But what has always concerned me is the tie-up that occurs. So part of the implementation of GMO crops or seeds has been a push by the organisations developing them, is to actually lock farmers into a particular supply chain. So in other words, they will sell the farmer their seed, the GMO seed. The farmer must sell the finished product back to them, and they're trying to sell inputs like fertiliser and agri-chemicals to them as well. So that was one of the more insidious sides of this whole thing, let alone, the sort of the consumer fears about
and there's all the cross-contamination and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a farmer who doesn't want to do that,
by being GM-free, well, we've done well as a country by being able to say we're GM-free. That's been a big marketing advantage. And if you've got someone down the road growing a GM crop, well, then from you, and you're trying to be organic, for example, well, you can't guarantee it necessarily anymore, and that's the problem.
That's exactly right. It's hard to control that.